If Britain had won the American Revolution, world history would have taken a completely different path. The American Revolution, 1775 to 1783, was one of the most significant events in modern history, marking the birth of the United States of America and paving the way for the development of modern democracy. But what if the outcome of this revolution had been entirely different? What if Britain had won the American Revolution? How would world history have changed? This article will explore that hypothetical scenario, examining the political, economic, and social changes, as well as the long-term consequences for America and the world. To understand this hypothetical scenario, we first need to consider the factors that could have led to Britain winning the American Revolution. Some possibilities include a more effective military strategy, divisions within the colonies, and the absence of French support. If Britain had employed a better military strategy, such as focusing on controlling major cities and limiting French assistance, they might have crushed the revolutionary forces. Additionally, if Britain had successfully exploited the divisions between loyalists, those loyal to the crown, and patriots or revolutionaries, they could have weakened the independence movement. Finally, French support was a crucial factor in the colonies' victory. If France had not intervened, Britain could have easily suppressed the rebellion. If Britain had won, they would have harshly suppressed the revolutionary movement. Leaders like George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and Benjamin Franklin might have been captured or executed for treason. The colonies would have been placed under stricter British control, with severe punitive measures imposed to prevent future uprisings. Britain might have established a more direct system of governance in the colonies, rather than allowing them the autonomy they previously enjoyed. The colonies could have been divided into smaller provinces, each governed by a British-appointed governor. Colonial autonomy would have been curtailed, and colonial representatives would no longer have had a voice in the British Parliament. If Britain had won, the colonies' economy would have remained dependent on Britain. Trade policies would have been designed to serve British interests, such as imposing high taxes and restricting trade with other nations. This could have slowed the colonies' economic development, but might also have spurred the growth of industries catering to British needs. With Britain continuing to control the colonies, class divisions could have deepened. Loyalists would have enjoyed privileges, while former revolutionaries would have faced discrimination. This could have led to social unrest and sporadic uprisings in the future. American culture might have developed differently under continued British control. English would have remained the dominant language, but indigenous and other European cultural elements might have blended more prominently. Education and literature would have been heavily influenced by Britain, with schools and cultural institutions established to serve imperial interests. If Britain had won the American Revolution, the British Empire would have become even more powerful. The American colonies would have become a vital part of Britain's global colonial system, providing abundant resources and labor. This could have helped Britain maintain its superpower status throughout the 19th and early 20th centuries. If America had not become an independent nation, the global balance of power would have shifted significantly. European powers like France, Spain, and the Netherlands would not have faced a new competitor in the Americas. This could have led to a redivision of territories and influence in the Americas and beyond. If Britain had continued to control the American colonies, nationalist movements in other British colonies might have been affected. Colonies like Canada, Australia, and India might have felt less inclined to seek independence, prolonging the era of imperialism. Even if Britain had won the American Revolution, this would not have guaranteed perpetual control over the colonies. Discontent and oppression could have led to another revolution in the future, perhaps in the 19th or early 20th century. This revolution might have taken the form of a civil war or a more peaceful independence movement. Alternatively, Britain might have transformed the American colonies into a self-governing federation, similar to Canada later on. This could have reduced tensions and created a more sustainable model of colonial governance. If Britain had won, the legal system in the American colonies would have continued to be based on British law. Common law would have been widely applied, and colonial courts would have had to adhere to decisions from London. This could have led to inflexibility in addressing local issues, causing discontent among the populace. Britain might have established a more centralized administrative system, with officials appointed from Britain to govern. Local councils would have had limited power, and final decisions would have rested with the central government in London. This could have slowed the development of democratic institutions in America. If Britain had continued to control the colonies, the fate of Native Americans might have changed significantly. Britain might have implemented policies to protect indigenous peoples to avoid conflict, or conversely, accelerated land seizures and displacement. British presence might have slowed the European encroachment on native lands. Slavery might have persisted longer if Britain had won. Although Britain abolished slavery in 1833, controlling the American colonies might have forced them to compromise with local slaveholders. This could have prolonged slavery in America, impacting social and economic development. If Britain had won, the American colonies might have become a key part of the British Industrial Revolution. Factories and industrial zones could have been built in America to exploit cheap resources and labor. This could have spurred economic growth, but also led to labor exploitation and environmental pollution. Britain might have invested in developing infrastructure in the colonies, such as railroads, ports, and communication systems. This could have made America a major industrial and commercial hub, but also increased its dependence on Britain. If Britain had won, relations between Britain and France would have changed significantly. France had supported the American colonies during the Revolution, and a British victory might have heightened tensions between the two nations. This could have influenced other historical events, such as the French Revolution and the Napoleonic Wars. With control over the American colonies, Britain might have expanded its influence into other regions, such as Africa and Asia. This could have intensified competition among European powers, potentially leading to more colonial wars. If Britain had continued to control the American colonies, American culture might have developed differently. Literature and art might have been heavily influenced by Britain, with American writers and artists trained and working in Britain. This could have led to a blended Anglo-American culture. Britain might have invested in developing the colonial education system, establishing universities and academies modeled on British institutions. This could have improved educational standards, but also increased dependence on British values and norms. Another possibility is that Britain might have transformed the American colonies into a self-governing federation, similar to Canada. This could have reduced tensions and created a more sustainable model of colonial governance. Even if Britain had won the American Revolution, this would not have guaranteed perpetual control over the colonies. Discontent and oppression could have led to another revolution in the future, perhaps in the 19th or early 20th century. This revolution might have taken the form of a civil war or a more peaceful independence movement. If Britain had won the American Revolution, world history would have taken a completely different path. The American colonies would have remained part of the British Empire, and the rise of the United States as a global superpower might never have occurred. However, British control could also have led to profound political, economic, and social changes, creating a world that is difficult for us to imagine. This hypothetical scenario not only helps us better understand the importance of the American Revolution, but also raises fascinating questions about the interdependence of historical events. Thank you for taking the time to read this article. If you found the content interesting and want to explore more hypothetical scenarios about history, please leave your comments and feedback below. We greatly appreciate your input to help us improve and develop future content. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the latest videos and articles on history, culture, and other fascinating topics. Let's explore new perspectives on the world around us together.